Ladies and gentlemen of Broncos country, today I'm here to recap the Denver Broncos versus the San Francisco 49ers preseason week 2 game. Now, I wanted to get this out last night, but quite frankly, by the time I got done editing my notes in a way that I wanted to present them to you guys, and of course, I also made the graphics and the slides and whatnot, it was a bit late, so then I pushed it back to today, but today I had some stuff to take care of, so that's why I'm going to be presenting this or uploading this later than I would like it to, but I got some big plans for the channel. It's not just going to be involving this high graphic, high quality content. I'm going to be doing some other videos like quizzes and whatnot, so be on the lookout for those in the future. But before we get into today's video, I just want to say that I've seen a lot of people on Broncos Twitter overreacting and, upset about the loss. It is preseason. The wins do not matter here. Now, what you see in the preseason games do matter because, of course, you want to see how well the team performs in the preseason games. But I've just seen a lot of overreactions, and I think it's kind of silly, people overreacting to a preseason game. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the preseason recap. As always, first, though, that I want to remind you that Jesus is King. I just pray that you give your life to him. He's got a plan and a purpose for you. And if you truly believe with your whole heart that Jesus died on the cross for your sins, and you truly believe that with your whole heart, then you'll go to heaven. It's not by our works that we go to heaven. It's through our faith in Jesus when he took our sins and our punishment and he died on the cross for us. So I just want to share that message. I feel like it's important. And with that being said, let's go ahead and let's jump into the recap. So some notes to start before the game even started. The field looked much better than it did in Arizona. And then for the starting quarterbacks, it was Russell Wilson versus Brock Purdy. And honestly, it doesn't really matter the starting quarterbacks because they each played only one drive respectively for their teams. So, yeah, I mean, quite frankly, it doesn't really matter. Now, I will say I went quarter by quarter, as you guys know, but just be aware in the fourth quarter, and we'll touch on this in a little bit, I didn't really take that good of notes and didn't take that in-depth of notes. So it'll go fairly quickly when it gets to the fourth quarter. So starting off in the first quarter, the Broncos defense has a very shaky opening drive, and Brock Purdy looked really good driving the Niners down the field, but the Broncos do end up forcing a fourth down, which causes Jake Moody to come on for the field goal attempt, and it is good from 20 yards out, and it is 3-0 49ers. The first play for the Broncos is a screen pass to Javonte Williams, who ended up dropping the ball. But the next play, Russell Wilson finds a wide-open Javonte Williams beyond the first down marker to pick up a first down. However, there is a flag on the play, but it is holding on San Francisco 49ers safety Talanoa Hufanga, and it gains extra yardage for the Broncos. Javonte's first carry then gains a couple, and Russell Wilson, in a panic shovel pass, he shovels it to Javonte for a gain of a couple yards. 3rd and 6 is then upcoming for the Broncos, and Russell Wilson scrambles for a first down to gain a bunch of yardage. And man, yeah, Russell Wilson looks like he's got that mobility that he didn't have last year playing for the team. Obviously he lost 15 pounds. He slimmed down. So Russell Wilson is looking really good on this opening drive. Then the next play, Samaje Perine gets a gain of 6, setting up a 2nd down and 4. Then it's an option play kept by Russell Wilson, who once again scrambles for a first down, but there is a holding call, and it's on Courtland Sutton, which brings the play back, and it's 2nd and 14 after the hold. And then the Broncos get the 49ers to jump off sides, and I believe he also lined up in the neutral zone because it was a neutral zone infraction, and I don't think they let the play stay live, so Russell Wilson couldn't take a shot down the field. So it makes it a more manageable 2nd down, making it 2nd and 5. Russell Wilson then scrambles for 4 yards, setting up a 3rd and 1. And then the Broncos run a fullback dive to Michael Burton, who gets the first down. On a 2nd and 10, the Broncos then get called for a false start on everyone but the center. So that's one of the funny ones when it's a false start, everyone but the center, because the center didn't snap it in time. Then on a 2nd and 15, Russell Wilson hits Marvin Mims for his first career catch, and that sets up a 3rd and 7 for the Broncos. Russell Wilson throws a deep ball for Jerry Jeudy, but the pass does fall incomplete. And from what I saw, now I am biased because Jerry Jeudy's my favorite player, and obviously the Broncos are my favorite team. It looked like there was holding on Jerry Jeudy, but it wasn't called. I don't think it was super egregious, so I'm not too mad at the no call. But that sets up a Brett Maher 48-yard field goal, which he drills, and it is a 3-3 game. Sam Darnold is now the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. And then I wrote a note here that I realized DJ Jones is back in there after he was being evaluated for a potential concussion last week. And funny enough, right as I wrote that, there's a big run stuff by DJ Jones setting up a 2nd down and 10 for the 49ers. Darnold then dumps off his pass to his running back, which sets up a 3rd and 5 for the 49ers. Then Darnold fires deep, but there was a great pass breakup by Damari Mathis. You know, all of us are expecting a big year from the 4th round pick in the 2022 draft to emerge as our cornerback number 2, and he had a really strong showing today. The Niners then punt, but it is shanked, which sets up great field position for the Broncos. Jarrett Stidham then enters as quarterback for the Broncos. And, you know, Russell Wilson, he only played the first series, so that's a great sign. Sean Payton saw what he needed to see from Russell Wilson. It was a very solid 13-play drive. But, yeah, Stidham is in at quarterback for the Broncos. The first play is a handoff to Javonte Williams, gain of 8. They're really just making sure Javonte Williams is 100%, and he looked 100%. You know, was none of those, like, great elite breaking the tackle plays against the Ravens, the Cowboys that we've seen in years past, but also I don't know if, you know, they're kind of saving that for the regular season just to make sure he doesn't get hurt in the preseason. Then Stidham sets up a screen pass to Javonte, which is a little to no gain on the play, and it sets up, then a 3rd and 2 is coming up for the Broncos. They hand it off to Samaje Perine, which he picks up the 1st down and more. Javonte Williams then gets a gain of 3 to 4 yards, which ends the first quarter. Going into the second quarter, there's trouble on the exchange as Stidham drops the snap. Stidham then finds Dulcich, who breaks a tackle and picks up the 1st down. That was a very, very fun play to watch where Dulcich caught the ball. He was going to be short of the 1st down, but he is able to break the tackle. I believe he also throws in a spin move. He picks up the 1st down and more. And then the Broncos hand it off to Samaje Perine, who has a big run and gains 9 yards. Another fullback dive to Michael Burton, which the Broncos then pick up the 1st down again. Ty McGill for the 49ers then gets to Jarrett Stidham for a sack, and 2nd 18 is upcoming on the play. There's a screen pass to Javonte Williams, who picks up 2 yards, and 3rd and 16 coming up for the Broncos. Then a screen play to Jerry Jeudy picks up about 4 to 5 yards, and that is 4th down. So Brett Maher comes on for a 34-yard field goal attempt, and he makes it, and it is 6-3 for the Broncos. For the 49ers on offense, Darnold scrambles for a gain of 8, brought down by Alex Singleton, and he hit Sam Darnold. Let's not be mistaken. It wasn't one of those, you know, wrap up and bring him down. He kind of pops Sam Darnold on that hit. Then there was a handoff by the Niners who gains 2 yards, but a holding on the 49ers backs them up 10, which is 2nd and 12. Yes, 2nd and 12. Darnold then fires to Chris Conley close to the 1st down marker, which sets up 3rd and 1. And then the Niners end up picking up the 1st down with Tyrion Davis-Price. I believe he's a rookie this year from LSU. I'm an LSU fan, so I do know he went there. I just can't remember if he was drafted in 2023 or 22. I believe it was 23. I'm so bad, you know, with the years that players are drafted sometimes when they're not on the Broncos. For the most part, I feel like I'm pretty solid, but for like the later round guys, because I believe he was a 3rd, 4th round pick, it's kind of hard to differentiate what year, but I do know it was either in 2023 or 22, Tyrion Davis-Price was drafted. Anyway, after that ramble, Sam Darnold then finds Jennings wide open for a 1st down, but a holding on the Niners backs it up to 1st and 20. A quick pass to the tight end Warner where Sam Darnold makes a quick pass to the tight end Warner, but an offsides by Randy Gregory sets up a 2nd and 9 for the 49ers. The Niners hand it off to Snead, who picks up 5 after breaking he picks up 5 yards after breaking multiple tackles that would have brought him down in the backfield. 3rd and 5 is then upcoming for the San Francisco 49ers, and Sam Darnold is sacked by Jonathan Cooper and Randy Gregory. 4th and 14 then for the Niners, which the punt is once again shanked. Now for the Broncos offense, this is where it gets exciting. Jaleel McLaughlin gains 5 yards to pick up gains 5 yards on the first down, and McLaughlin is super fun to watch. You know, he is going to definitely make the team as a UDFA. He's going to extend the streak. He's going to be the running back 3. He's going to be the running back 3 behind Javonte Williams and, of course, Samaje Perine. He is just super talented in that area. Jarrett Stidham then finds a screen pass to Jordan Humphrey, who is brought down at the line of scrimmage, so no gain. No huddle for the Broncos on 3rd down, but Stidham couldn't find anyone open, and he goes to scramble, but as he goes to do that, he is instead sacked. And then Riley Dixon is on to punt, but his punt goes too far, and it ends up being a touchback, and the 49ers get the ball. Well, of course they get the ball. It was a punt. Except, yeah, I mean, you could get on a muff, but I'm rambling now. On the next drive, the Broncos defense bends but does not break as they force 4th down at midfield. The 49ers punt. Marvin Mims was deep to return, but he calls for a fair catch. Stidham then passes it to Tony Jones Jr., who gains 8. The Broncos are now in a hurry-up offense as they have no timeouts, and Stidham passes it once again to Tony Jones Jr. Stidham once again passes to Tony Jones Jr., but it is incomplete on a blitz from the 49ers. Stidham had no time to throw. Jarrett Stidham then fires to LaJordan Humphrey with 30 seconds to go. 30 seconds to go in the half, I should specify. Then Stidham throws to Marvin Mims on the sideline, but that was a very late throw, and it was almost intercepted by the 49ers. Then Stidham finds Jalen Virgil wide open, who takes it all the way down to the 1. But as the Broncos go to spike it, I thought they got it off with 1 second remaining. The refs say he didn't. They didn't even review it, which is crazy. They didn't review if Jalen Virgil was in for the touchdown. They didn't review if the Broncos spiked the ball in time to stop the clock, which is crazy. So, of course, Sean Payton is fired up and kind of pissed off at the refs, let's be honest. Then Jalen Virgil ended up leaving a cart because he got injured. And I don't think it's going to be a season-ending injury from what I've seen on Twitter, but, it did not look good. But that was a very impressive play by Jalen Virgil. I just wish he, of course, didn't get hurt. But that ends the second quarter and, of course, the first half. So now we are jumping into the third quarter. Broncos get the ball to start the third quarter, and a handoff to Jaleel McLaughlin gains 3 yards on the play. Stidham then has a pass to Marquez Callaway, which is broken up by Sam Womack. 3rd down is coming up for the Broncos. Niners jump as a flag comes in and whistle blows the play dead. No free play. Again, I think it was a neutral zone infraction instead of offsides, so that's why I believe the play was whistled dead, and it's 3rd and 2. The Broncos then hand it off to Tony Jones Jr., who is stopped short, and it becomes 4th and 1 for the Broncos. The Broncos end up going for it, but they don't pick it up. Well, hold up. I just confused myself in the notes. 4th and 1 for the Broncos. Denver is going for it, and then I think there's a penalty which backs the Broncos up, because then I have Riley Dixon comes on to punt, and it's and he booms the punt, but a big gain from Ronnie Bell on the return sets up Niners in great field position. So yeah, I believe that it was Riley Dixon who comes on to punt. He booms the punt. It's a great punt, but the special teams couldn't cover as Ronnie Bell picks up great field position for the 49ers to start the next drive. And then on the next drive, Sam Darnold's pass is tipped and picked off by Essang Bassey, his second interception of the preseason. A handoff to McLaughlin picks up 5 yards on the holding. A handoff to McLaughlin picks up 5 yards, but there's holding on wide receiver LeJordan Humphrey, which backs the Broncos up. Then Jarrett Stidham passes to Nate Adkins, who gains 2 yards. Second and 18 coming up for the Broncos. It's a handoff to Jaleel McLaughlin, who picks up 7 yards. Then Jarrett Stidham finds LeJordan Humphrey for the first down, but LeJordan Humphrey fumbles the ball. Denver does recover, though, to maintain possession. Okay, so this next one is going to be a little bit of a long one. I think I messed up. Stidham then on the first down scrambles for a couple yards. Next play, Stidham dumps off the pass for a big gain, but a holding on Kendall Hinton brings the ball back. On 2nd and 7, Stidham scrambles for 5 yards, and it is a 3rd and 2 coming up. A handoff to Tony Jones. Jr. But he is upended short, and there's a 4th down coming up. And then, I haven't been impressed by Tony Jones Jr. this preseason, so that's another reason why I think Jaleel McLaughlin will be the running back 3. Haven't been impressed with Tony Jones Jr., and I really haven't seen a whole lot of Tyler Beatty. Didn't see him a lot. I don't know if we actually saw him. Well, we might have seen him. I just can't remember. But I do believe that McLaughlin will be the running back 3 when the final roster cuts are finished and the Broncos are down to their 53-man roster. But for Broncos are going for it on 4th down. Or I guess I put here, but the Broncos are going for it on 4th and short. But a too many men in the huddle penalty backs the Broncos up 5 yards. The Broncos are still going for it on 4th and 6. But Stidham is hit as he throws, and it's almost intercepted, but it is dropped. It ends up being a turnover anyway. Of course, it's a turnover on downs, and it sets up the 49ers with the football. The next drive, the 49ers are driving, but there's a throw down the sideline, and surprisingly, or I guess I shouldn't say surprising, that's kind of mean, but Tremont Smith makes a great play in coverage. The Broncos defense is bending. And the Niners are in the red zone. Then the 49ers drive down the field and score a touchdown, and it is 9-6 after Jake Moody misses a PAT. I can't remember who got beat for the touchdown because at this point, I'll be honest, I wasn't taking as thorough of notes. I was talking to my friends while watching the game and taking notes. So I can't remember, but it might have been Tremont Smith in coverage, but I do not remember. So please don't quote me on that. On the kickoff, Jaleel McLaughlin actually muffs the kickoff, but he does recover in time. The next drive, Ben DiNucci is in at quarterback for the Broncos. McLaughlin has a big run on a 1st and 20, which makes it 2nd and 3. That was a very impressive run, in my opinion. Now, 2nd and 3, on 2nd and 3, Ben DiNucci's pass ends up being incomplete. The Broncos then can't convert after McLaughlin's run and are forced to punt. But the San Francisco 49ers muff the punts, and it ends up being Denver Broncos football after they recovered the muff punt, which, I think that the Broncos right now, they are, I'm liking what I'm seeing from the depth. So, I'm always optimistic, but I'm super optimistic after this season. And, of course, Jaleel McLaughlin, with his 2nd touchdown of the preseason, makes it a 13-9 ball game, and that ends the 3rd quarter. Now, again, this is going to be very quick because I didn't take as thorough of notes for the 4th quarter, but Trey Lance is in at quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, and defensive lineman Elijah Garcia picks off Trey Lance. I noticed something from Ben Albright that Elijah Garcia hasn't been super noticeable in practice, but man, in the games he has shown up. 2 sacks in preseason week 1 and then an interception on Trey Lance. I think Elijah Garcia will also be making the roster because that was super impressive. A defensive lineman picking off Trey Lance. Trey Lance hasn't been super great this preseason. I guess, at all in his NFL career, because first year, I believe he sat behind Garoppolo. Then last year, he started but got injured, so then Garoppolo played last season, and then, of course, the emergence of Brock Purdy. So we'll have to see. But, yeah, good for Elijah Garcia getting an interception as a defensive lineman. Then Jake Moody's kicks a field goal later on the Niners drive, and the field goal is good to make it a 13-12 ball game, but the Broncos still have the lead. Then Tony Jones Jr. had a huge run, which sets up the Broncos in the red zone. That was a very good play by Tony Jones Jr. after a little bit ago when I was kind of saying I haven't been impressed by him. And then Jaleel McLaughlin has his second touchdown of the game, third of the preseason, to make it a 20-12 Broncos lead. The Niners score, though, to make it 20-18. They go for 2 points, but the try is no good. But on the final drive, Trey Lance leads the team down the field to set up a Jake Moody game-winning field goal, and the final ends up being 21-20. San Francisco 49ers take the victory. But, of course, it is only the preseason. Don't overreact because, there is still a lot of things that were positive to see in this game. The emergence of Jaleel McLaughlin, getting to see some of the depth, Damari Mathis making plays. I would say even the O-line had improved play this week as opposed to last week. So there are a lot of advantages and a lot of positives to take away from this game. It's not about the final score. Does it suck that we lost in the preseason? Of course it sucks that we lost. But that was a very, very good game for the Broncos and made me very optimistic for the season. Now, of course, remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are brand new. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Parker, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.